My name's Hannah Fidler, and I'm one of the founders of the Liberation Music Collective. I also play bass and do vocals for the group, and I've written 3 of the compositions for our new album, Rebel Portraiture. The first one that I did is called Ikra, and it's for journalists who have been targeted by ISIS. There were a couple high-profile cases of Western journalists who were killed by ISIS, but actually a lot more journalists from Syria and Iraq have lost their lives because of ISIS, and so we wanted to write something that really focused on their stories. The word Ikra is an Arabic word that's a command to read, and that's a reference to the oldest verse in the Quran. It says, "Read, in the name of God, who created human from a clot of blood, read, your God is most beneficent, who taught humankind by the pen, taught it what it didn't know." And so I weave references to Ikra, to the command to read, throughout the piece. It includes some spoken word. Spoken word was a texture that we played with a little bit on our first album too, so it's kind of neat that we're bringing it back for the second one as well. The second piece that I'm doing is called River of Life, and it's for Berta Cáceres, who was an indigenous environmental activist in Honduras. And she's best known for helping fight against this big hydroelectric dam project that was going to threaten a river that was very important to indigenous people in Honduras and to the environment. And one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about her was that she was just recently killed. Both the government of Honduras and private companies that were involved in different projects were very against a lot of her work, and Honduras is a very dangerous place to be an environmental activist. The more we can tell stories about people like Berta Cáceres, the more people will realize that they're not alone in these struggles, and that people everywhere are fighting to protect the land and fighting to protect water and things that are sacred to them. And so the piece, the composition that I've done, tries to use as many natural tones and timbres as possible to really be evocative and illustrative of both the river that Berta Cáceres tried to protect, but also any land or water that might be sacred to anyone who might be listening. And then the last song that I wrote will be the last song on the album, and it's called All I Need, and it's dedicated to basically the rebels of today, people who might be on the fence about what they believe in or how to defend what they believe in and how to kind of stand up and invest more in the world. You know, these are kind of crazy times. And it's based on a poem that I wrote last summer. I had an incident driving to a gig in southern Indiana where these 2 guys in a pickup truck started throwing rocks at me, making obscene gestures at me, and almost running me off the road. Really made me face that fear and think about the fact that I have all I need within me to stand up and make a change and to face that hatred and that ugliness that people might bring. And so that poem is all about finding whatever is within yourself to stand up and do what's right.